me if this sounds familiar. You earn a good income compared to where you were before and also relative to your peers, but somehow every single month your money is always gone. Your account empties faster, your anxiety is louder, and at the back of your mind you have this terrifying question. How long will I survive if I lost my job tomorrow? How many months will I be able to live off from what I have saved? And if that answer is less than 3 months, then you are in a trap. And 19% of high income earners in the world are with you in that trap. You look successful and rich from the outside, but underneath all of that, you are just one interest rate hike, one emergency, and a retrenchment away from everything collapsing. And that is the middle class trap. It doesn't look like a crisis, it doesn't look like a trap, it looks like progress, and it looks just like a lifestyle. And that is exactly what makes it a trap. But don't worry, I'm going to show you how the trap works and how you can actually get out of it. So how does the middle class trap happen? We are going to start now with someone that you probably know. She gets the promotion that she always wanted. The income looks good. She's really happy. Her family is proud of her. Now look what happens next. Firstly, she upgrades her car. Suddenly, because she has this nice new big promotion, she feels like now her car is a skorokoro and it's no longer fitting somebody at her level. So she goes to the bank, she applies for financing, and the bank approves because on paper she can technically afford the monthly installment. And guess what she has not done? She has not ran her numbers. She has ignored the 35% rule as well as the 10% rule when it comes to car affordability or the numbers that you actually need to run when you are buying a car. But anyways, the bank finances and she gets her new car. After the car, she moves in a better complex. That's the second thing that she does. She moves to a better complex, 24-hour security. Maybe there's even backup generator, it's much safer, it's in the suburbs and all of that. She moves in and her rent doubles from where she's coming from. And this doubling of the rent feels justified because she works hard and she deserves this. And what happens next is that the soft life starts. Our girl no longer has the time or the energy to prepare meals, so now the Uber Eats and the younger orders becomes a routine. And every other day, she's going for drinks with either her colleagues or her friends. Every other weekend, she's exhausted, so she goes out of town. Maybe it's Cape Town, it's Swakopmund, it's a lodge somewhere where she just needs to relax, and it goes on and on and on. And none of this sounds like it's excessive, but it all adds up. And in the background, black tax also goes up. Because now she's the one who is doing well, the whole family is now proud and is expecting her to come through with everything. She is paying the school fees of her little cousins and her younger siblings. She's giving allowances left, right, and center. Whenever there's a problem, it's her that gets called because she's the one that is doing well. And guess what? The church contributions also goes up because she's a dedicated church goer, and it's one of those churches where you have to tell them about your new promotion. So her contributions for church also goes up. And on top of that, she still gets those other messages from her cousins and relatives and friends that says, you know, I wouldn't ask, but. So all of that is also just happening in the background. And here is the important part. Individually, all of these decisions that she has made, they make sense. But collectively, our girl just signed up for a lifestyle that is very, very expensive for her to maintain. Not to grow, not to thrive, but just to stay afloat and to maintain all the moving parts. It requires a very high salary for her to do that. And that is exactly how the trap works. It's many small individual decisions that you are making, but as a collective, they become this really big thing that you have to fund every single month. The next thing that I want us to do is to look at why does the trap happen. We looked at how it happened with our example of our lady who got a promotion, but now we can actually look at why does it happen like that? Why do people make those many small decisions that then adds up into this huge collective thing that is just very expensive to maintain? And here I want to start by saying this is not just about spending. There is far more to it than just the spending. The spending is a big part of it, but there is a whole lot of other things that are going on in the background. There are hidden rules underneath this whole middle class trap, and we are going to unpack them now. The first hidden rule is that the middle class optimizes for image over safety. When it comes to middle class earners, they would rather build and maintain an image than them actually building safety around their life in terms of their finances. So for them, it's much more important to look and be presented in a certain way compared to the actual reality of what is happening in their lives. And this thing of optimizing for image is not always conscious. A lot of people grow up being told you are the one to get the family out of poverty. You must never show people that we are struggling. You must never look like something is going on when it comes to your money or when it comes to your status or your lifestyle. And some people were also being told, we struggled so that you don't have to struggle. A lot of things from your childhood or from your upbringing already are feeding into this idea that you are supposed to present a certain image to the outside, even if the inside things are going wrong or things are not working. So the optimizing here is that from the outside, people must always see me in a certain way, even if that is not the reality of my life. And that is a dangerous place to be. And this is exactly why, for a lot of people, when their income increases, they don't ask, how do I buy myself freedom? They don't ask, how do I build myself a life that I am proud of and that I never want to run away from? No, they will ask themselves, how do I distance myself from poverty? For them, it's more important to put up a front or to put up a certain image and distance themselves from poverty than actually them building a life that they are really happy with and buying back their time and buying back their freedom. And that distance from poverty looks like a brand new car with a German badge. It looks like a complex with 24-hour security. It looks like only going to eat and hang out at certain places. Whatever they can do to put a distance between themselves and poverty, they will do it. And that is why the middle class are one of the biggest gatekeepers. They don't want you to know the places they hang out. They don't want you to know the people they know. When they meet you at that other new restaurant that everybody has been taking pictures of themselves, they will be like, oh, you also come here, you also know this place. They are so shocked that they are not the only one. They love this exclusivity. All these things that they are doing on a weekly or daily basis, they don't want other people to come there, especially if they feel like you are a lower class, you are a low income earner. For them as middle income, they are here and you are down here. So they try as much as possible to keep a bridge between poverty or what they consider or look at as poverty and themselves. So basically what happens here is that they constantly upgrade their lifestyles, but they are not upgrading their finances. They are not upgrading or building their financial foundation. And that is a very expensive mistake, because a few years from now, you have wasted so much money trying to build and create and maintain an image which is not necessarily a true reflection of your life. You are just fronting so that you look a certain way to people, and most of the time people don't care. People don't really care. But somehow it's very important to these middle income earners to really show themselves that yes, I am here and I have arrived. The second hidden rule when it comes to the middle class trap is that middle class people design a lifestyle instead of building systems. And I have always spoken about systems in my videos. And the difference between a lifestyle and a system is that with lifestyle, you are really just looking at material things. The things that these people own. It's where you stay, it's what you drive, the clothes that you are wearing, this and that and that. But when you have a system, those material things are still a part of your life, but when it comes to your finances, you are much more organized. Your finances are automatic. Your things are predictable. Your things are planned. Your system is designed in such a way that it protects you from yourself. yourself. Because when it comes to our money, we are our biggest enemies. Because you are still the same person who will squander it. You are the same person who will dip into accounts that you are not supposed to dip. You are the person making all these other decisions that are affecting you financially. And in the long term, you are really making a loss. So basically, a lot of high income earners do not have systems in place, especially when it comes to their money. And what happens every single month is that the salary comes in, they pay their nice expensive car, they pay a few bills, and then they start swiping their card for a few days at a restaurant, at a gym, at where, at what. And after a few days, whatever they feel is left is what they move to the savings. And guess what? There is barely anything left. Most of the time, they are not saving, they are not investing. And that is a very expensive way to live, because what will happen tomorrow? If we go back to that question that I was asking at the beginning, how many months will you survive? If you always wait to move whatever is left to savings, you won't even have savings to live off. And that is a dangerous way to live. So basically, when people are in this trap, they don't have a certain percentage of their income that goes to savings, no percentage that goes to investments. They don't even have a plan for their annual increase if they get an increase at work. Whatever money they get, it just continues to go into feeding that ever expanding lifestyle. Because guys, when it comes to this soft life and this thing where you are optimizing for image, you will always be expanding in terms of what you want and what you feel is a need. You will never get enough, and you will also not build any wealth, because all the money that you are getting is just feeding into your lifestyle. And this is exactly why a person who earns 15,000 a month and somebody who earns 75,000 a month can both be broke on the 28th of the month. Different numbers, but same missing system. When you don't have a system, it doesn't matter how much you earn. Whether you earn 15,000 or you earn 75,000, without a system in place, you will be broke just like everybody else on the 28th of the month. So now that we have looked at how the trap happens and what keeps it in place, or why does it happen, I want us to quickly look at the escape plan. What can you do to get out? If you are in this situation today, what are the things that you could do that can help you get out of the trap? Because I want you to get out of the trap if you are in there. I really want all of us not to be people who are trapped by the lifestyle, by the image, and all of these things. And when you are escaping the trap, I don't want you to deprive yourself. I don't want you to now start living like a monk, or for you to abandon your family, or for you to start feeling bad about money. No, I want you to have power, and for you to take control of your finances. You have the power in your hands to actually make the right decisions for yourself. But those decisions are done within a system. You must put systems in place that protect you, that protect your money, that are speaking to the things that you value in your life. They are speaking to the goals that you have for yourself and to the life that you are trying to build. Because without that, you will not be able to achieve those goals that you really have for yourself. And the first thing that you can do here is to define safety before you define soft life. In fact, I want you to completely put the whole soft life thing away. Just focus on the safety part. What does it mean for you to be safe? For most people, being safe means you have a 6-month emergency fund that you have in an account that you don't touch, in an account that gives you 24-hour or 48 hours access, in an account that gives you interest. That is your 6-month emergency fund. That is one layer of your safety. The second thing is for you not to have high interest consumer debt. And this high interest consumer debt is your store cards, it's your high balance on your credit card, it's an overdraft facility. A lot of people can't function without a revolving overdraft facility. And I find it very funny, like, how do you get yourself into that? It's not something that you need. It's something where you are saying, in case I might. No, There is no such thing as in case when it comes to personal finances. Your in case is your emergencies, and you are supposed to have an emergency fund for that. So you don't need a revolving overdraft facility just for in case. So get rid of all that high consumer debt. It does not serve you. And the third thing that you can do under your safety is to automate money to your savings and money to your investments every single month before you spend money on anything else. And this is the pay yourself first method. Before you pay bills and all these other things, already transfer out money for your savings and for investments, because this is the only way you actually get to achieve your financial goals, be it short term, be it medium term, be it long term. So for your short term is mainly from your savings, but for long term, your investments are really what helps you to build wealth. So prioritize automating this every single month before you do anything else. The second part about getting out of the trap is for you to cap your lifestyle creep. Live below your means. Not even within your means, but below your means. Always create a gap between how much you earn and how much you spend, and keep widening that gap. And the money that you keep it in your savings, keep it in your investments for long-term growth. And whenever you are getting a salary increment, or you are getting a bonus, or whatever amount of money is being added to your income, always have a split 30-70 or less. 30% you can feed your lifestyle, but the 70% must go towards your savings and your investment. This split actually helps you to build the financial future that you want, to have the foundation and to buy back your time, one investment at a time. So always have a split percentage. If you can do the full amount, putting it into savings and investment, that is great. But if you need to split, at least maximum 30% should be the one that goes to your lifestyle. And then for your wealth building, you allocate 70%. The third part on how you can get out of the trap is to really put boundaries when it comes to black tax. Yes, we love our families, we suffered with them, we want to elevate them out of poverty, we want our families to thrive and to grow, but we cannot do it at the expense of you building a life for yourself. Unfortunately, you can't give everything that you have so that you can help your family. So every month, decide on a fixed amount that you are able and sustainably so to contribute to your family. So you decide on a specific amount, you give that fixed amount every single month, and they can see how they utilize it. But you are not doing that thing where every other week there is a phone call and you are sending money, they say phone call, you are sending money. No. Have a specific amount, and it must be an amount that you are really able to manage to send that every single month, and you don't entertain these emergencies and phone calls and things like that. And communicate openly to your family that, guys, I have my own goals. I have my own life that I'm trying to build. I have things that I want to do for myself. So allow me to give what I can, but otherwise I am not able to do more than that. I also need to look out for myself. And they will understand. Of course, maybe at the beginning, if they are used to you giving them money all the time, they might struggle a little bit at the beginning because they are not used. But as time goes, they will get used. They just know every single month we are expecting 1,000 rand or 1,000 Namibia dollars from Les, and that is all she's able to give us because she has her own life, she has her own things that she's working on. Some of you have kids, but you are really still just supporting your whole family that you left back home. What will your kids inherit? What will your kids have? What are you doing for your own kids? So look at that. And here's a truth that you might not want to hear. You are much more useful to your family as a wealth-building, financially stable person in 10 years than you being a hero today and being worn out and starting from zero at 45. And I want you to hear that again. Your family would rather have you being financially stable and a person who is building wealth 10 years from now compared to you 10 years from now starting from zero at 45. Nobody wants a 45-year-old who is starting from zero. You don't want it for yourself, your family also doesn't want it for you. And while we are here, you must always remember, the people that you were giving all your money to over those years, they will not remember it that way. They will just look at you and say, this person has been working for the past 30 years or the past 25 years. What has she done or what has he done for himself? We all have those types of people around us, in our communities, in our families. We know them. Don't be that 50-year-old who has nothing. Don't be that 50-year-old who drank away his life, who drank away his money, who gave money to women over the years and has not built anything for themselves. Don't be that person. We have so many examples in our communities, and we know exactly that is not what we want. You know already what happens when you are old, you are vulnerable, and you have nothing for yourself. Believe me, people won't give you money. People won't look after you. You will be on your own. Even the people you were helping or the people that you were chilling with and all these things, they would have forgotten about you. They won't give you their money. So look out for yourself. And protecting your financial future is not selfish. It's the responsible thing to do. It's the adult thing to do. So always ask yourself, how does this protect me in the long term? If I'm saying I'm giving away half of my salary, who will I be and where will I be 5 years, 10 years from now doing that? Always protect your financial future. If anything in this video made you uncomfortable, that is a good thing. That means something has landed with you and you are able to go back, reflect, and see if you need to make changes in your own life and in your own finances. Because we live in a world that normalizes people having overdrawn credit cards. We live in a world that normalizes people not having savings, people not having investments. You talk to people every day and you ask them, where are you investing? And all they can tell you is that I have a 32-day account. I have a unit trust somewhere. They don't even know how much is in that account. They don't know if they are getting any interest or any dividends. So it is important for us to make decisions and decide not to be looking rich from the outside, but from the inside. Financially, you are unstable. Build a strong foundation for your finances and build your future. No one is coming to do it for you. And especially if you are a woman. As women, we need to work 2 or 3 times as harder as men. And it's important for you to have your own money as a woman. Even if you have a blesser, even if you have a rich husband, even if you have rich brothers or whoever giving you money, it's important as a woman to have your own money and to have something that you can fall back on, because when the world turns on you, you should be able to back yourself up. It's not always that you have people that are backing you. If you do, lucky for you. But in case it happens that those people are not there or they are not able to back you, be in a position where you can back yourself. And that is all for today's video. Really reflect on your own finances. Are you part of the middle class trap? Are you a high income earner who barely have anything left every end of the month? Where are you standing and what can you change? There is always room for us to improve. None of us are perfect with life and with our finances. Every single day is an opportunity for us to improve, even if it's just one thing, even if it's just like a small tweak here and there. So go back, reflect, and see, what can I change about my finances? What can I do to improve my own finances? And if you have not yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button, leave a like. I will see you in the next video.